I didn't want life. I wanted alcohol. Ultimately, I gave alcohol everything that I had, and all alcohol really ever did was take, take, take. From the moment I woke up in the morning until the moment I went to bed at night, alcohol consumed me. I drank it. I had hangovers from it. I would wake up and I would feel like I didn't want it anymore. And then noon would come around, 1 o'clock, and all I could think about was that next binge drink. And that would happen day in and day out. I was faced with the decision to make. Do I want to continue this life or do I want to have a better life? Ultimately, I decided each and every time that I would rather just drink. I would rather just have alcohol. I would rather escape and not deal with the realities that I was facing day to day. So, if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Josh, living life alcohol free. If you're returning, thank you so much for coming back. And today I'm just talking a little bit about a comment that somebody had made on one of my videos last week that pointed out that I had said just that I wanted alcohol. I didn't want life in one of my videos. And I was glad that he pointed that out because that's really ultimately what it was like being stuck in addiction all those years. I chose alcohol over life. When I turned to alcohol when I was 15, did I ever imagine myself going in that direction, just giving everything that I had to alcohol and letting it basically take everything from me or try to? Absolutely not. If I would have known that that was going to be the case, I would have probably made a different choice. I didn't really ever picture myself drinking like that, uh, doing other things, but ultimately, the alcohol was a numbing agent. It numbed and released the anxiety and the pains of my everyday life. A lot of us turn to it when we're teenagers. If you turn to alcohol when you were younger, let us know in the comments. If you were older, also please just share where you are in your alcohol journey, with your drinking, with your sobriety, wherever you are. Please let us know. It's very helpful to get a dialogue going and kind of talk about this. That's kind of why I formed this channel, because it's important to talk about this and be able to. That's one of the reasons why I was able to get over my addiction to drinking, was to be talking about it. So that was the best thing that really ever happened to me, was being able to finally once and for all be honest about how much I was drinking, why I was drinking, instead of lying to myself like a lot of us do. Uh, we lie to ourselves just about how much alcohol is a problem for us, because it's so widely accepted and it's so ingrained in our society that, if you don't drink, you're the outcast. You're the one that is kind of the party pooper, the Debbie Downer, the boring person that just doesn't have fun. And once I was able to quit drinking and kind of learn the psychology behind addiction, I kind of started to recognize that, not everyone has a problem with alcohol that drinks it. But there are a certain percentage of people that once they consume alcohol and they start to use it to cope, um, one of the sayings that we used to use in our sobriety group was, once the cucumber becomes the pickle can't go back to being the cucumber. And I love that motto, because it's like it's so true. Once you cross a certain threshold with alcohol, and your tolerance goes up, and you need more and more to catch the feeling that you crave. Um, there's a certain level where the alcohol doesn't help you anymore. It's just hurting you. And you cross over into this territory of addiction and you find yourself trapped in it and it's hard to get out. And I read this book, Alcohol Explained by William Porter, early on in my sobriety, and it really helped me kind of pinpoint. Um, I think it can help you too. It kind of helps break down the psychology of addiction and how it really impacts those of us that have addictive personalities, but also that alcohol is itself a hugely addictive substance. So you combine those two things, and you have a recipe for disaster. So in my drinking days, I would wake up. If I let's say I didn't drink the day before, but I would wake up. I would plan on drinking on this day, um, and I'd go about my day, whatever that was that I was doing. Either it was work or pleasure, but either way, I would be anticipating getting to my drinking session, which was at home. And I preferred to drink pretty much by myself. I didn't like to be around other people while I was drinking, and that was mainly because I knew that I wasn't myself when I was drinking. I wasn't, um, smarter or funnier or any of these things that we think that we are when we're drinking. I knew from an early age that I was a different person when I was drinking. But you can't really see that, unless you make a video of yourself, which Annie Grace, who wrote This Naked Mind, a book that really helped me, and then a community ultimately that really helped me get and stay sober, actually did film herself. She quit drinking for about 4 months, and she decided she was going to make a video of herself and drink a bottle of wine. And she did that, and it was about a 4 hour session. And when she watched it, she was mortified at just her behavior and what she looked like under the influence. And alcohol and marijuana and any substance really that we think are making us something that we uh, are not, something better, is, I think, not a reality. I've gotten a lot of comments over the last month or so, and particularly on one video that started really going up a few weeks ago, a month ago, and it's just that they love drinking. They're gonna keep drinking, and that's just the way that it is. You need to moderate it. You need to do this. You need to do that. But the fact of the matter is, it's too, for people that are hooked on it, like I was, like many of us are. Moderation doesn't work. Did moderation work for you? Has it backfired? Have you tried it? Please put down in the comments some of the things that you've gone through with trying to moderate. I tried over the years to do that. I would try to have, two tonight. I would say, I'm going to only drink like six tonight or whatever. I would make a plan, and I would always get to that threshold, and then I would be, you know, inebriated enough to say, you know what, it doesn't matter. I'll do that. I'll do that tomorrow. And tomorrow never came. I was not able to moderate. It was one after another that I would drink, and the more that I would drink, the more I would crave that feeling. So I would keep drinking. But I knew before I even started drinking that I was just going to drink a ton. And I got to a point where I kind of knew how much I could drink and get away with it and not feel horrible in the next day. That didn't happen until I was in my 30s. In my 20s, I was just kind of out of control. I mean, I would drink so much, and I know that when I went to work the next day, I smelled like alcohol. And I wasn't nauseous all the time because I did kind of know that I couldn't mix alcohol, uh, but I would stick to one form of alcohol and typically drink, not over drink, and be okay. But it was exhausting to try to do that. It was exhausting to and if you have any experience with your exhaustion from drinking, please put down in the comments below how you're feeling with alcohol, and if we can help you in any way. I think that if you put the comments down there and let us know, we can kind of help. But that's just what it was like for me to struggle through my 20s and 30s and lean on alcohol more and more, to the point where when I was faced with my choice of, do I want to continue drinking or do I want a good life, I would always choose the alcohol. And once I got a few months sober, I was able to kind of figure that out. You look back on my drinking and kind of think about that. I mean, and that's really what it's like in recovery, is you have an opportunity to really think clearly about your life and what it was like when you were drinking. And I never want to forget what it was like when I was drinking, because I don't feel like any of us are really that safe from going back, from a relapse, from slipping, and from having a good life to then just choosing, for whatever reason, whatever triggers maybe it's not even a trigger. Robin Williams, I read, or I watched an interview of his, and he said it. He said he didn't really have a trigger when he relapsed this one particular time. He found himself in a liquor store getting some things that were not alcohol, but he saw a bunch of those little plain airplane bottles, and he thought, I'll get some of these Jack Daniels airplane bottles, and that's what he did. He bought a couple, and then he went home, drank them, and then before he knew it, he was back to buying boxfuls of fifths of liquor, and he's back into this addiction pattern. And man, it's a painful way to live. And I feel like once I had some distance from alcohol, I could see that it was a disease of volition. Um, not We can't exactly choose to be non-drinkers when we're stuck in an addiction. It's not something that we can just turn on and off, in my experience, anyway. But I find that um, the longer you go alcohol free, and you can make that rational decision for yourself. Do I want to drink or do I not want to drink? The easy choice is, I don't want to drink. I don't want to actively choose to pick up a drink again, because if I do that, I know that I'm probably going to end up back where I was. Everyone around me tells me that I'm like friends with on my sober groups and stuff. So why tempt it? You know what I mean? When I quit, I didn't think that I was going to just quit all of it 100%. I was going to moderate. I was going to be this drinker, and strive to have one or two and be done. But I recognize that when I was in my drinking, I was never able to make that work. So what makes me think that I would be able to make that work now? You know, I mean, if I went back to drinking as much as I did the first time I went back to drinking, there's no doubt I'd be so sick, maybe even die from it. You'd have to go back and have, wean yourself back onto it. So I don't know why I would, or anyone would want to do that actively. But if something's bad enough in our life, I think that it's possible to think about, hey, I need some solace from this. Um, but I don't think any of us are immune to it. So that's just how I feel about the whole choose life or choose alcohol thing. Those are some things that helped me kind of get to the other side of where I was with it. If you're looking for support, please check out. I'll pin the link to my Facebook group in the comments below. It's a private group. It's just somewhere we can go and kind of share our alcohol experience, our addiction experience, our life experiences, anything that we want to talk about. I'll pin the link for more of my videos down below as well. Please like and subscribe if you found this video helpful. Check out my other videos, and please consider coming along with me on this journey. It's been awesome. Being alcohol free is the best decision I ever made, and I love making content for you guys. So keep it up. I've got I've got new videos coming out on Wednesdays and Sundays, and I do a live stream at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I try to stay consistent with that so that we can be there, and that's what it really takes to stay sober, is consistency. Just keep replacing that bad habit of drinking with good habits, that things that bring you joy. It can just be something so simple, but you can replace it. It could just be a cup of coffee. It could be taking a walk. It could be, reading a book, watching a movie, meditating, reading the Bible. Any of these things that we start to replace our time that we normally would drink with that, and over time we just decide, this is way better and way simpler of a life. It's quieter, and it's not as chaotic. Alcohol is Drinking life is just so chaotic, and I'm grateful to be out of that every day, and especially making videos for you on this channel. So thank you so much for being here, and have a great sober day, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.